Hi, I'm Chris Haigh and this is the Fiddle Channel, and today I'm going to show you the fiddle part for a tune by George Jones called Choices. Choices is a request for Zach. Thank you for asking for this, Zach. It's a lovely tune. It's got a great fiddle part played by Stuart Duncan. Now, the song was written by Billy Yates and Mike Curtis in 1994, and 3 times they pitched it to George Jones to record, and twice he turned it down, and finally, I think it was because he'd finally made so many bad choices in his life that it felt like an appropriate song. He finally chose to do the song and got a Grammy for it for his recording in 1999. As I say, it's a fiddle of Stuart Duncan that we are copying, and I'm going to give you his intro, his solo and his outro, all of which are pretty similar, and all of which very closely follow the style of the actual fiddle playing of Bob Wills, who kind of set the standard for a particular way of playing country fiddle. And the 2 main elements of his playing were hammer-ons and the 4-finger drone. That kind of thing. So simple lines, simple melodic lines, and those 2 elements are what gives this particular style. And whenever a country fiddle player is trying to play in a kind of classic country way, then that is the style that they go for, and it's something you certainly want to master. So first of all, let's go through this intro. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it first of all without the drones and without the grace notes. So we can hear that we have the skeleton of the sound there, but it really doesn't sound country at all. So the stuff we're going to put on top of it is very important. Let's start with those drones. So we're going to start with an A drone over most of those notes that are on the D string. And here we can put D drones underneath. And A drones again. And here we put in an A note as a drone, but fingered underneath the. Okay, now with the fingered ornaments. So here we're hammering on from a 2nd to a 4th finger, and we're doubling the A note with the 4th finger and the open string, and keeping that 4th finger on if you can whilst you play the B notes with your 1st finger. And then doing the same again, 2 to 4. If you find that too hard, then just do an A drone above it. That's far easier, but it's not quite as effective. If you find, as I very often do, that the 4th finger slightly touches the string above, then you have to bring your wrist right up and round so that that finger is going up vertical. And it's well worth practicing something like that for hours every day for the rest of your life, and you'll eventually master that. Okay, let's just play that intro with the backing. Okay, then it's into the verse, and I'm not going to tell you very much about what to do in the verse, other than you should try and find a double stop for each of the chords and play that double stop at the beginning of when that chord occurs. So, for example, for the first 2 bars, get your F sharp and A or something like that, and play that for maybe a bar and a half, and then you've got half a bar to move towards and think about your next pair of notes. So for the G it might be a B and a D. So a little phrase moving towards that, moving down to the D, and then from the D So we're playing very much in the background. It's mostly long notes, but you're definitely filling out the chords and you're contributing a lot. I do have a video called Joined Up Country, which is all about this kind of playing, where you are knitting together the chord sequence by finding 2 note pairs of notes to play the chords, and you're moving from one chord to the next in the same way that a bass player would do. On the original you've got pedal steel sharing this job, but here we've just got the fiddle, so you can basically do what you like all the way through it. I don't think it's very appropriate to do that kind of thing, because this is too smooth and lazy for that to really work. So all the way through the verse and chorus you can be doing these long droned notes. Okay, coming on to the solo. This is more or less the intro, just slightly changed. So you could, if you wanted, just do exactly the same as the intro was. But what we've got here is 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say that the fine detail of this doesn't really matter. The general feel does matter a lot. But it's my guess that if Stuart Duncan were on tour with George Jones, then he wouldn't be playing the same thing every night. He'd play it slightly differently. The outro, we only get half of it because the pedal steel takes the second half, but what we've got is... So then I would do, assuming there isn't a pedal steel player champing at the bit there, I would do the same second line as you had before. Okay, so I hope you found this useful. If you would like a copy of the dots that I've got here, then do subscribe and send me an email. If you want to help support the work I do in creating these videos, then do please consider joining me on Patreon. That will be a great help to me. And if you join at the top level, you will get a free one-to-one lesson every month, which I'm sure some of you would enjoy and some of you would probably hate. I'll play you out with the intro and verse and chorus. See you again soon.